In today's video, I'm going to show you some epic results for January 2024 using HappyTrader.io Sentiment AI with Illumitrend. Stay tuned, you're going to be blown away. What's going on? My name's Ryan. I'm the CEO and head quant here at HappyTrader.io. It's Friday, February 9th, 2024. We're going to be looking at the NASDAQ futures. And we're going to be looking at the 45-minute chart. I liked the response that we had from our ES video on the S&P, so I figured why not do one for the NASDAQ as well. So we're going to be looking at both the long-only strategy and the long and short. And remember, we're not super trend. We don't trade nor backtest off of these potential trend reversal signals. We might look a little bit like some free indicators that you see on TradingView, but that's because when you program on TradingView, that's the way that these signals tend to look. The special sauce is in these signals here, and this is precisely what we're going to be testing. We're going to be looking at the long only and the long and short. Now, we're in a bull market right now, right? Whether you believe it's a bear market rally or not, the prices are going up and they have been for a while. You know, we just cracked over 5K on the S&P 500, as you can see over here. We're just steadily ripping to the upside, and it's just going into another stratosphere from what I'm seeing. But we did have about, a 14, 15 month correction. It took a long time. But we're also seeing things like Bitcoin starting to creep up a little bit. And really, do I think that the market is due for a correction? Yeah. Am I a perma bear? Not really. But we are going to get into this back test. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the long and short. So what happens if you try to short this market, but also go long the market using our signals, right? So we're going to go ahead and just kind of look at that, and we'll pull it up. I've pre-populated some of this stuff, but we're going to use a small size account. So we're just going to use $1,000 account. Let's just say one contract on the ES. That's about the normal margin for a NASDAQ contract. You might want to pad with a couple extra $1,000 just to avoid a margin call. So the first thing we're going to do is check our date range. We have deep back testing enabled for TradingView. We're looking at January 1st, 2024 to January 31st, 2024. We're going to just double check our parameters. We have $1,000 of initial capital. We have one contract. We're not doing any pyramiding of orders, meaning adding, stacking orders in one direction. And commission and slippage is going to be extremely unimportant for this test, but you can go ahead and calculate your own commissions in based on what you pay with your particular brokerage. So let's go ahead. Now that we have everything locked into the long and the short, we have it activated. The first thing we want to do is make sure that our signals are showing, so we can disable. And you can see that we just see our downtrend and uptrend signals. We're on the 45-minute chart. That's exactly what we want. And when we enable them, it does bring up our screen, but more importantly, it overlays directly over our signals if we go back and we look at them, right? So very important to make sure that your back testing matches up perfectly. That's super duper important. You can see a lot of these signals were false. These would be like your super trend type signals where you're just getting roasted. So try to back test super trend and you'll see what I'm talking about. And that's why it's a free indicator. So I'm just going to leave that, just the way I said it there. But we're going to go ahead and get into the back test. So now we have the strategy tester. Everything's in there. We're looking at the long and the short. We're looking at just 1 month. Keep in mind, S&P 500, buy and hold. Most people with retirement accounts, 7 to 11% per year on average, okay? So we're looking at 1 month. So we're going to look at the long and the short. We're short in a bull market here. So we're getting into this right now. We're going to hit generate. And you can see, okay, so that's interesting. Interesting stuff. We're going to disable the buy and hold equity because we're not looking at a stock. That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't expect it to be that high. I was thinking maybe 10%, maybe 7%, maybe 16%. Who knows, right? Somewhere in that range. But if we look at the list of trades, you can see that even shorting the market, these winners are just so much bigger than these losers, right? And that's the big thing. And that's just rudimentary trading going from uptrend to downtrend. Just taking the uptrend signal, buying, and then dumping that trade on the downtrend and simultaneously taking a short. That's going to be your long and short strategy, right? That's exactly what we're back testing. So you can see here that even on our losing trades, we had run ups that would have allowed us to take substantial amounts of profit or put on a hedge, meaning go both ways in the market. Delta hedge is the term for that, such as having a contract long on the NQ. And then if that trade starts to go underwater, you could put on 10 contracts of the micro. You could put on protective put options. Subscribe to the channel if you want to know how to make this type of thing a career. That's what we do. This is our passion. And you can see that we have these opportunities even on the losing trades to take these profits, okay? So you have plenty of room, plenty of time. We're just back testing signal to signal, which is far more rudimentary than most human traders are going to trade. For instance, on this uptrend signal that started on the 7th of February, so 2 days ago on Wednesday, there's a lot of traders that'll get into these moves and they'll take the profit off the very first trade. So take this with a grain of salt. Take this as Happy Trader being an insurance policy against bad decision making, because the expectancy, even shorting a bull market, is positive, right? Using Happy Trader. So you can see the percent gain. I'm not even going to say it out loud. You can see the number of trades here, extraordinarily low maintenance. You can see the average trade, what the expectancy was of each trade, holding signal to signal, $1,262 on average. And you can see that win rate doesn't matter, like I talk about in other videos. And subscribe if you're into learning more about this type of thing. We have less than 1 out of 3 trades winning, but we're super duper profitable, right? How does that work? And what happens with this drawdown? Well, like I said, we're just testing from signal to signal as if it were a machine trading. And if a machine took this drawdown, do you think the machine would be upset? The machine would not be upset. The market doesn't know how you feel. The market doesn't know and care. The market doesn't have the capacity to care about your emotional state, right? So we're using technical analytics here. We're not using anything psychological. We're not using emotions. We're using Happy Trader signals, and that's it. So that's going to be the long and the short of it, pun intended. So you can see the list of trades, of course, like we showed you. Performance summary, you take your gross minus your other gross, you get your net profit. You take your gross profit minus your gross loss and get your net profit. And yeah, you took a drawdown. You took a huge drawdown. It's the Nasdaq, and you're swing trading it. And frankly, you're trying to short a market that is long, that is going up and has been going up. But at the end of the day, if you hold through all of that, like our bot did, and like our just trade these signals, have faith in the signals, look at some of our other videos, and you can see that even if this isn't the way that you trade, you have the opportunity to get out of these trades with run-ups. Okay, large run-ups that in many cases surpass the amount of profit or loss. In this case, we're looking at loss, but it's binary. It's either win or lose. There's no emotion involved. It's just whether the strategy works or not, and our strategy works great, even shorting the market on the NASDAQ, right? So now let's just take a little mental note there, about 800% in 1 month. It's about, what, 10 years of gains, non-compounding, but we are using leverage, so you kind of get it. And we're taking $1,000 account all the way up to what, like 12K, 12.3K. Now we're going to get into the interesting part of going with the market and why I think it's smart for you to go with the market, why I like to go with the market. And I'm not giving you financial advice. Disclaimer, not financial advice. But going with the flow of the market is like going with the waves of the ocean. Okay, so let's switch over to the long only back test. We're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to do a small account size. Most people aren't just rolling around with 100K in their account. that would make you eligible for portfolio margin, which opens up the ability to do options premium selling strategies at a much more efficient pace that you can use to generate income. Very important stuff. And, that's stuff we're going to be digging into as well. But right now, we're just looking at January 2024. So one contract, $1,000 of initial capital, and we're not going to do any pyramiding. Again, you could see in the last test why the commission was semi irrelevant. And we're going to go ahead and just hit OK because we have everything locked in. We have our long only. We want to verify that now we have our +1 contract, and all we're doing is closing the contract on our overlay. We're not shorting the market on the downtrend. We're using it as a stop, okay? And we're not using these buy and sell signals. You'll get chopped out to smithereens if you use these. And yes, they can superimpose with Supertrend, but this is not Supertrend. This is Happy Trader. This is premium. It's for a reason. It's been 2 years in development, and we use uptrend and downtrend signals. And I wanted to be super clear about that because this is an amazing product. So let's go into the strategy tester. We make sure that our date range is correct. We have all of our parameters that are in from before. We're just going to double check them. We have our deep back testing on. That's going to enable the ability to see the back test. And then we have our date range set properly, which is super important. So we're going to generate the report. And you can see there 1,300% going long only. Oh, and by the way, since the market was up, no drawdown to zero. Now, we did have a 41% drawdown, but that's a lot better than a 99% drawdown, right? Now, the other cool thing about this is when you go with the flow of the market as a swing trader, you get less trades, right? So if you're just taking uptrend signals up, you're just looking at the NASDAQ, you get an alert and you go in and you set an alert, through Happy Trader using TradingView. All you have to do is wait for your alert to pop up on your phone, to pop up, to buzz your pocket, and hey, I can take this trade. So even if you're doing it on paper trading, right? So that's what's really cool about Happy Trader. And you can see here that the NAS is just dragging us down to positive territory. But 4 trades to be able to make 1,300% in 1 month. I mean, I think the best hedge fund out there is only doing 60% a year, right? So that should speak to the volume of how powerful this product is. And we're going to look at the list of the trades. And again, you can see these winners in white are just so much bigger than the losers in red. But similarly to the other backtests that we ran, the run up gives you the opportunity to exit a trade prior to getting stopped out on a signal, okay? So if the market goes from a bull market to a bear market and you're still in the long only frame of mind, you don't know when that's going to change until kind of after the fact. You have the opportunity to take your run up and run. You can run away instead of just running up. So that's what we're looking at. I mean, this is the trade log right here. It's super rudimentary, but you can see that the gains are just so nice. We did really well here for January, and I'm just super stoked. I had to share this with y'all. I mean, this is next level. And thank you for the support. I'm not just going to tell you to subscribe and subscribe. Thank you for the support. Thanks for being an early adopter of Happy Trader while we get our feet up under us. We're here to help you trade as good and efficiently and learn how to trade as well as possible. My name's Ryan from Happy Trader. Have a great day, have a great weekend, and happy trading.